Hey guys, it is Lego Maestro here, and welcome back to another episode of Hypixel Alert. You guys, it has been quite a while since the last episode. I know it's been a week, but still, it feels like a lot longer. Oh man, there is a ton of really juicy, hard-hitting news to get into in today's episode, so get ready and let's get into it. Now, before we get into all the really hard-hitting stuff, I thought we'd start off today's news with a pretty lighthearted and fantastic story coming from famous UHC player Fruitberries. And he tweeted out saying, "Let's go 100K plaque," showing of course his 100K plaque from YouTube. Dude, you know I'm gonna say it. Everybody knows I'm gonna say it. Huge congratulations, well deserved. Obviously your traps and videos are pretty entertaining to watch, so of course, exciting stuff there. But guys, for this next story, you're gonna have to sit down. Now, for those that don't know, the Hypixel Cops and Crims official tournament happened over the last week. And of course, this seemed like a pretty lighthearted event. Maybe it got a little competitive, but at most, that's what people thought it would turn out to be. However, nobody could have seen coming what happened. On the 27th of October, the tournament ended, the results were in, and everybody thought that was set in stone. You know, the winners were in place. But that was only the beginning. Here's a picture you can see of the leaderboard as soon as the event ended, and this screenshot was taken right after the event. And so of course, people naturally assumed these were the winners. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, 18 out of the top 100 players in the event were wiped from the leaderboards completely. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, here are some screenshots you can see side by side showing before and after the wipe. Now, I'm not gonna run down those names of who got wiped, but instantly this had everyone wondering, what's going on? And that's when later that day, the official forum post for the Cops and Crims tournament was released. Made by Connor Linfoot, titled Cops and Crims Defusal Tournament Results. Now in this forum post, it goes through some crazy statistics showing that over 47,000 games were played and over 293,000 rounds occurred. Now approximately 45,000 unique players joined this event, and this was actually pretty good compared to the past tournaments on Hypixel. You know, Cops and Crims, well, it's really not a popular game mode on the network, so personally, I didn't expect many people to show up. However, that was definitely not the case. Blitz Duos, a very popular game mode on the network, only had 31,000 people join when that event happened. But, I mean, when Bed Wars happened, that had 170,000, so, you know, this wasn't breaking any records or anything, but it still did pretty good. And along with this, in this forum post, they talked about 2 new additions that they may add to Hypixel tournaments in the future. Now, one of these things covers an issue called dodging. Let's assume you joined a Bed Wars game and saw Time Dio in it. Now, you knew how good he was and you've seen his statistics, but let's say here he wasn't a YouTuber, you would probably leave the game because, well, you knew you would die to him, right? Well, this tournament basically says a lot of people in the event were doing this same thing, and they were just leaving games because they saw people in the lobby, you know, that they knew they couldn't beat. And so they are suggesting for the future to actually make it so you can't see people's name tags, so you have no idea who you're going up against. And along with this, they also suggested having a limited amount of games rather than a limited amount of time that you can play for wins. Which personally, I think is a remarkable idea to say the least. So this way, once you join in the pregame and you can't see people's names, then when the game starts, and let's say you see Time Dio in there, well, if you leave, that counts towards your total amount of games that you can play. So of course you're not going to leave that game because you'd rather fight him than lose your statistic completely. And of course, the thing in this forum post that everybody had to see, the most crucial part about it, was the very bottom of the forum post, where it reads regarding the PingTag mod, saying during this tournament it became obvious that a lot of players were using the PingTag mod to see player names through walls. Even if it was an unintended consequence of the mod itself, we have decided to consider the mod cheating and have blacklisted the mod from joining. Players who have been found benefiting from this mod have been removed from the leaderboards, and they will not receive any rewards from the tournament. On Hypixel, we do our best to stop cheating in any form, and we will not reward players in these cases. Well, there you have it. That explains right there what happened to all those players that got wiped. Now, there was some speculation going around that these players actually got banned, but I looked into a ton of these cases, and from what I could tell, well, nobody got banned. They just got their statistics wiped from the event. Now, further down in the forum post, it does say that the mods are aware that a new version of this PingTag mod exists, and so that basically gets rid of this Cops and Crims problem that's currently happening. And so they say that that is not going to be an issue if you have the current version, but if you have the old one, well, you better uninstall it pretty fast. Now, after I read this, I actually messaged one of the players who got wiped during the event, known as Dog Cat What. Now, he said that his statistics did get wiped from the event, and it actually shows that he didn't play in the event if you look it up. However, he did say something pretty interesting, and that is that he still kept his tributes from the event. And for those that don't know, tributes, well, they're basically like what you get out of playing from the event. There's certain leaderboard rankings, and the higher you are, the more rewards you get, and higher tributes are one of those rewards. And so he says he did actually keep those. Now, I don't know if I'm not supposed to say this, like they're gonna start wiping them after they read this and hear it in the news, but either way, I think that was pretty interesting to read. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next story is a pretty sad one, and I'm not gonna cover this one too much, but still, it is definitely a crazy issue. And this is coming from the #1 player on the Hypixel network, Spetnix. Now, when I say #1 player, I'm talking about level specific. Of course, if you played Hypixel at all, then you would know there is a level system. And the more you play, the higher your level gets, and you can do quests and things to get that level up. But the higher that your level is, the harder it is to get it higher. And if you look at the leaderboards, literally Spetnix is over 100 levels above the nearest player. Now, I'm level 260, and let me tell you, getting a level up is like a month's worth of work, okay? I don't know how much this guy plays, but clearly he knows how to do quests or something. Either way, you can tell he's invested. However, sadly this week I do have a unfortunate thing to report, and that is that he is quitting Hypixel permanently. Well, at least for now, he says, and I'm not gonna get into it too much. I'm just gonna read you the first part of his first tweet that says hello. That will probably be my last message on Twitter for a long time. I'm just saying I'm definitely quitting Hypixel now. Now, there is another after this tweet, and there's also a lot of tweets after this. But you guys, these are pretty personal. There is a lot of serious stuff, and I am not going to cover that in the news. I will leave those links in the description if you want to check that out. But Spetnix, man, our thoughts and prayers go out to you. Yeah, what can I really say, guys? Some serious stuff here. So once again, I am not going to cover that. But yeah, dude, sad to see you go, and I genuinely hope things get better for you soon. Now, guys, for our final story this evening, to end off on a happier note, the Minecraft event that could take over Minecraft Monday, MCSaturdays, well, finally, ladies and gentlemen, they released a release date. They tweeted out saying, yes, it's official. Our first Minecraft Saturday event will be November 16th. Expect roster and gameplay teases on the way there. We promise we won't postpone this time. And along with this, they also tweeted out saying their sponsor for the event, and this just happens to be the Bad Lion client, which, for those that don't know, I mean, I'm not too sure if it's the #1 client on Hypixel, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because it's insanely famous. A ton of people use it. And, yeah, cool stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the news this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. The interview with Tommy in it is coming out this Tuesday. I hope you guys are excited. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, of course, that's going to do it for the news. If you enjoyed and you want to stay up to date on everything happening in the Hypixel network, then of course you'll want to subscribe to the channel. I'll be your host, Lego Maestro, keeping you informed on what's going on. And with that, if you've got any news to submit, my Twitter and Discord are in the description as always. But with that, Hypixel Alert now over 71.6 thousand subscribers. And I will see you next time.